I've been thinking about the day my doctor died, and my family knew Dr. Zane Kime for decades. I think it was 1977 that I first remember hearing his name, Zane Kime, in my home. We were in Australia then and heard about the research that Dr. Kime, a medical doctor in California, was doing about the danger of refined oils. And my parents were very interested in his work. We were all Seventh-day Adventists and fervor about a healthy vegetarian diet as a religious value in the church. We moved to the Napa Valley from Australia in May of 1977. I was 11, and my parents and I got to hang out with the Kimes at their home in Penryn, California, near Sacramento, and they were just so very good to us. So much so that when my father was dismissed from the Seventh-day Adventist Church in August 1980, he received many job offers, and he decided to take up the one extended to him by our friend Zane Kime. So we moved to Auburn, California. We set up this non-denominational evangelical Christian foundation called Good News Unlimited. And we were often over at the Kimes' home. It was a Saturday night at the Kimes' home that I learned to kiss. It was January 1st, 1983. I was a junior in high school. It was Sugar Bowl night. Penn State defeated Georgia and Herschel Walker 27-23. And the Kimes hosted a Saturday night party for us kids. And I was introduced to this freshman girl, and she was a blonde, and she had this great body, and some acne on her face. And the blonde and our mutual friend and I went up to a loft at the Kimes, and I think I was charming. I think I was a good conversationalist. After about an hour from meeting this girl, lying around in the loft, I leaned over and I kissed her. I'd only kissed one other girl at this point in my whole life, and that was Alice, who was on my high school newspaper staff. And she had convinced me to throw away the rest of my cheese sandwich at lunch. Then she leaned over and just drove her tongue down my throat. Kind of scared to death. I'd never French kissed before. I feared I wasn't very good. The whole thing lasted about 10 minutes, and afterwards I was so traumatized that I basically didn't talk to Alice again for the rest of high school. Anyway, this freshman girl, this Saturday night, was very gentle with me, and it was exactly what I needed. I needed to know how to kiss. And she taught me. And every girl I've kissed since then is in her debt. I think I learned more from her that night than I did from reading the teenage advice book, How to Be a Confident Kisser. I think she had on this great lip smacker, which just made her lips shine, made her smell good and taste good, and she knew just what to do. She was just what the doctor ordered. I remember how she'd just glide her lips over mine, and she'd kind of nibble a little bit with her tongue, and I responded a little too violently at first, but within a few minutes I was the great kisser that I am today. So the Kimes had two daughters. One was my age, the other one was 2 years younger. So the one my age went to my high school my senior year, and I think she was already working as a model. Like, everything she did was classy. She was a good student, good athlete, very popular. And then after high school she worked full-time as a model, then went to USC, eventually received an MBA. So from 1985 to 1988 I worked in landscaping while I simultaneously went to Sierra Community College, and I reported the news on the weekends for K-High, K-Hill Radio till September of 1987. I think I used a lot of chemicals in my construction work and landscaping work, like Roundup, to kill weeds. I didn't think much about it. Then one day in February 1988 I woke up with what seemed like the flu. Whatever it was that hit me, it's never gone away, 23 years later. I went to see Dr. Zane Kime, and he treated me for free. I didn't have much money. From 1989 to 1982, he had these theories about environmental medicine that seemed to fit with my experience. Unfortunately, I did not get any better. I was basically bedridden about 20 hours a day from 1988 to 1994. Then one day in 1992, I got the shocking news my doctor was dead. He'd fallen in a climbing accident near Yosemite. Now, I rarely left the house at this time, but I did go out for his funeral that following Sabbath. It was like such an extreme and shocking loss that I felt numb and I didn't know what to say to the Kime family. Like, I remember the youngest Kime daughter told me that one of her first thoughts upon hearing that her dad was dead was, Luke won't have a doctor. The funeral was outdoors, it was hot, and I was shaky. I didn't see much. it's hard for me to look into the face of death. The family had given so much to my family, and now Zane was no longer with us. I felt inadequate and weak. And so I was doing some research about Zane Kime on my computer, and I saw that Kime had released a documentary about her father, and I found it online and watched it. It's called The Tomato Effect. And powerful stuff.